See that square bill right there? There we go. Square bill net and all. Good fish. Hey folks, Glenn May here with BassResource.com, and today I want to talk to you about square bill crankbaits and how to fish those. They've become very, very popular over the past few years, and for good reason. They catch a lot of fish. They're great for fishing in cover especially. They work themselves through without getting hung up as much as you would other crankbaits with different styles of bills. So let's talk a little bit about them. First of all, I want to talk about the gear you use and how to rig them up, and then we're going to talk about how to fish them. So let's talk about the gear first of all. Here I've got a medium power fast action rod, and what that translates to is you've got quite a bit of bend in here, good amount of parabolic action, a lot of give to it, and you want that in a rod because when you got a fish on, these hooks aren't huge. So when a fish is on, if your rod is too stiff, the fish can leverage against that and can actually rip the hooks free from its face. So you want to make sure that you've got a rod that's got a lot of give to it, plus a rod that's got give. It makes it easier to cast. It can load up, it can cast these lighter. You know, these aren't very big baits. Okay, you can load up these baits and cast them really far. You can see it's got a nice square bill to it. So this is a 7-foot Helios by Okuma, Helios rod, in case you guys are wondering what that is. Paired with it, I have a Helios Air reel. It's a 7:3 to 1 gear ratio, and I'm using it today because I'm reeling it back pretty fast. But when you're throwing it thick in cover, you actually want to nurse your way through that cover nice and slow. So a slower gear ratio is fine with those. Anything, say, you know, some people go down to a 4:7 to 1 gear ratio. Perfectly acceptable if you're throwing it in a real heavy cover because you're not going to bring it back really fast. You actually need to slow it down and bring it and kind of work your way through all that cover. So a slower gear ratio is a good choice then. Here I'm throwing it in open cover over tops of weeds, so I'm fishing it back faster, so I'm using a faster reel. Paramount in whatever reel you use is a good drag system. You want a nice smooth drag. When that fish takes off and runs, yeah, that rod needs to give so that fish doesn't pull the hooks loose, but you also need the drag to be able to pull nice and smooth and to slow that fish down, give him some breaks without being jerk, 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 jerk. If it's jerking like that, then it's just every time it's pulling those hooks a little bit more and more free. So you need a nice smooth drag. Check that whatever reel you decide to get. Paired with that, I'm using 12-pound fluorocarbon line. In this instance, again, I'm throwing it in open water over weeds, so 12-pound is perfect. Fluorocarbon's got that sensitivity I need. It's got the abrasion resistance. I can throw it over weeds. I can throw it over rocks. I can throw it over, wood, and the fluorocarbon's going to hold up and going to give that sensitivity. Plus, it's dense to it, has a little weight to it, helps get that bait down to the level it's supposed to run at. Monofilament, by comparison, is a little more buoyant. It doesn't let that bait get down, and it has a little bend in the line when you're fishing it. So there's more line between you and the bait, so it's less sensitive. Braid is also really buoyant. It's even more so, has quite a bit of a bend between you and the lure. It doesn't allow that lure to get down as far. Braid also isn't as abrasion resistant in rock. You'll get a lot of frays, nicks in it, and it can break off. If you're throwing into heavy bushes and cover, that might be the exception where I may use braid, but even then, all I do is I heavy up. I'll start using maybe 17-pound, 15, 17-pound fluorocarbon. I won't go to braid still for the same exact reasons. There we go.
It's a largemouth. It is a largemouth. Not a super big guy, but square bill. Here he comes. All right, I guess I need pliers because now I have to remove said hooks from said fish. And said fish has hooks all over said face.
With the bait, what kind of modifications do I make? Well, it depends on the brand of the bait. Most baits these days come with super sharp hooks, but I check them all anyway, right out of the package. I make sure that they're sharp. I drag it across my fingernail and I want it to dig into that fingernail. If it doesn't do that, then it's not sharp enough and I'll sharpen it. Right out of the package, hasn't even got wet yet. and I'll sharpen it. But most hooks come sharp enough today, so I don't need to replace them. Also, the split ring in the front, if you notice with this one, see, it's got an oval split ring. So I'll tie directly to those. But if it's a round split ring, a lot of times what happens is that knot will find its way between the wires and get right between them, and then that line will rub, and eventually it'll break right there where it connects to the split ring. So I get rid of those and I'll use a snap instead. Not a swivel snap or snap swivel. I use a snap. You don't need to use a swivel. All it does is it collects weeds, so don't use them. Just a snap is fine, but I'll replace those round split rings with that. Other than that, that's just the modifications I made. Oh, get the camera out of the net.
No? If you catch fish, I'll be happy to get that camera out of the net.
All right. Got yourself a deal. Okay, get the camera out of that.
Hey, look at that. Wow. Crankbaits it is. It gotta be crankbaits, evidently.
Come here. Oh boy, I don't have to be very good.
You don't. I did get it out of there.
Come here.
Nice job.
All right. And the hook, it just fell right out.
Nice job.
Square bill. I want to talk a little bit about color now. Color is really location specific. We have a lot of perch in our neck of the woods, so this is a perch pattern that I love to use. It's got the yellow belly on it, orange yellow belly. Perfect color for the lakes I fish in, because that mimics the forage the best. Plus it's a bright sunny day, so in really super clear water. So I try to go as natural as I can and don't go real flashy. But on sunny days and waters that's a bit dingy, then I'll go to a chrome with a black back or a chrome with a blue back color. That works really well. If the wind's up on a sunny day, and the light penetration's breaking up just a little bit, great time to use chrome. If the light level's down, or if I'm in water that's really dingy, maybe a foot of visibility, then I'll go to like a gold chrome color, or maybe even a really dark color. So, purple with black stripes. I don't know why, but works really well in those conditions, or low light conditions. For me, at least it does. But that's about it. I don't go too crazy. I know Sexy Chad, people like that color, use it. It works great in certain parts of the country. But you don't need 17 colors. Stick to the basics and you'll be fine. Stick with the same sizes too. This is just a standard size color. You don't need to get really big or small. This one is a little bit of buoyant to it, and that's critical when you're fishing with square bills. You want a little bit of buoyancy to them, because when you're fishing through that cover, especially wood, when you hit it, you pause it and let it drift up a little bit. And that looks like it's wounded or stunned. Or you hit a log, or if you hit a rock or something, pause it and it'll float up a little bit and it looks like an injured bait fish. That's a lot of times when you get a strike. I like this one also because with the buoyancy in it, it has more erratic action. When it hits, the square bill hits, the idea with that square bill is when it hits objects, it deflects off it at an erratic angle. Well, when it has some buoyancy to it, that amplifies that action, and that often triggers vicious strikes. So I'm done talking about it. Let's go out and fish it and show you some different ways how to fish it. That's smack that. Tell who wanted it.
Awesome. Square bill fishing.
He is pulling. There he is.
I haven't even seen him yet. Can't even tell you what he is. Oh, it's a nice largie. Oh, it's a smallmouth.
He's a smallmouth.
Nice smallie too.
I can get him in.
He does not want to come in. He takes one look at you and he's like, I'm done. I don't like you no more.
There we go.
Yeah, look at that one.
Good looking smallie.
Nice looking smallmouth. Look at that.
Take that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so the key characteristic with square bills is, hence its name, a square looking bill. Okay, so that gives it the ability to deflect off cover better than the rounded bill baits. And there's a simple reason why for that. The rounded bill baits, when it hits cover, what they do is when they hit it, the bait kind of curves off like this. It turns and then goes over the cover. The hooks can therefore get embedded. Say, for example, it's wood or tree or branch or something like that. The hooks can get caught on that because the bait will curve off of it. With a square bill, it's going to get caught on that piece. The body will come up and then it'll come off at a weird angle. It'll deflect. That body is going to protect the hooks from getting embedded in the wood. Now, it's not 100% foolproof. It's not 100% weedless, but they come through cover a lot better than round bill baits. So for that reason, they're very popular for fishing in cover, in particular wood cover. Now, I don't have that right here. I wish I could demonstrate to you, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you fish that through woody cover. First of all, what you want to have is a bait that is buoyant and that floats. This is why I've got the Booyah Flex 2. It does float. There are some suspending and sinking models, but for going through cover, you want the floating kind. And the reason being is as you pick it through cover, when you hit something, you want to pause it and give it the ability to float back up and get away from that cover. So the key to fishing it through all that, you gotta kind of pick it through it. If I were throwing, say, for example, in a lay down or something like that, instead of just cranking it really fast like I normally would, here you just kind of want to slowly pick it through that cover, real slowly. And when it hits that branch, you pause it, let it float up above that branch, and then start bringing it through again. Just pick it through nice, slowly and carefully, and you won't get hung up. That bait is going to float back up. As soon as you hit that branch, just let it come up and away. That body is going to protect those hooks from getting hung up into it. It's a great way of fishing cover with moving baits. And spinner baits are another way you can fish it, but crankbaits or square bills work really well for this application. And that's what makes them so popular, because other crankbaits, you're just not able to do it. So when you're fishing that kind of cover, the key to it is fishing it really slow. However, there's lots of other ways to fish a square bill. First of all, it's a small bait, right? It's really easy when you cast it out there is to just reel it back in at a pretty fast pace. Don't do that. Most people fish them too fast. You want to fish it at a slow to moderate pace. Why? Because the bigger fish hit it at that speed. So most of the time, fish it nice and slow. See how slow I'm reeling? This is a 7-to-3-1 reel. So I'm bringing it nice and slow, and that's how you want to crank it, nice and easy. Now, it's going to be easy for you to remember to do that the first few times you cast it. However, once you're 10, 15 minutes into it, 20 minutes into it, give yourself a gut check and see if you're still reeling it slow. A lot of people start speeding up slowly without realizing it, and a few minutes later, they're fishing it really fast. So cast it out there and reel it back nice and slow to moderate speed, and keep checking yourself, make sure you're staying at that speed, and you're going to catch larger fish. That said, this bait works really well over submerged cover, such as submerged milfoil, submerged hydrilla. And for that, you actually want to fish a little bit fast, because you want to get a reaction strike. The fish are buried up in those weeds. You just want to see something go right by their heads really fast, and they don't have a chance to examine it. They'll react to it. But for that, it's a little bit different. Yeah, you're reeling it back fast, but keep your rod tip up. There's two reasons for that. First of all, you keep your rod tip up, it's going to stay over the top of those weeds. But when it ticks those weeds, or say, for example, there's a stump or a log or lay down in there in the middle of it, what happens when you have the rod tip up like that, it's going to deflect and it's going to bounce up away from it, away from that cover, by keeping that rod tip up. So it's not going to bury itself down in those weeds if it happens to get stuck. Those guys, you guys know, some of you fish crankbaits, if you start catching weeds, it'll bury itself right down into it, or burrow down into it. Keeping that rod tip up will prevent that from happening. So try that out. A couple other retrieves to do, even in open water, is the stop and go retrieve, one of my favorites. Give it an erratic retrieve, so you're bringing it, you're reeling at a nice moderate speed, and then you just pause it. and then bring it in. A couple more cranks of the handle and pause it. And this, you want to be erratic, so don't get into a pattern. You want to like reel, 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 stop, and let it pause for a real long time. Then 2 cranks of the handle, pause, let it come back up. I'm actually digging into the cover I have down here, so it's hard for me to show that. But just keep varying that. What you want is a definitely erratic retrieve. What it does, it looks like a bait fish that's injured or disorientated. Bass are programmed by nature to attack injured bait fish. So that's what you're trying to mimic there. Just the stop and go retrieves. A straight, steady retrieve often catches fish, but if they're not biting that, that's the kind of retrieve you want to have. And then lastly with these is the sweep retrieve. It's a variance of that, but it's a little bit different. It kind of looks like a fleeing bait fish. Cast it out there, give it a few cranks down below, and then you want to sweep it with a rod tip and then pause. Reel up that slack, let it sit. If it's a buoyant crankbait like the one I have now, let it float back up a little bit, and then you sweep it again and let it pause. And just vary how far you sweep it and vary how long you let it pause. But a lot of times it gets a strike while it's paused. So watch that line carefully, get ready to set the hook. Make sure you get your rod up here ready to set that hook. And then just pause it and get that rod up here again and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and sweep it again. Real effective way of fishing fishes, I can speak. It's a real effective way of fishing when the fish are a bit lethargic and they're not really willing to chase a bait down. That can work really well to elicit that strike. So those are some of the different ways that I fish it. I hope that helps. For more tips and tricks, visit bassresource.com.